Hi everyone, thank you for being here at the Home Club of Boys and Girls Clubs of the Austin area. My name is Michelle Ramirez and I am the Character and Leadership Director and I oversee kind of the teen programs. So today we have a panel, welcome KXAN, and thank you for hosting some of our teens and some of our clubs that are going to be talking about mental health today. And I'm really appreciative of this panel because, you know, these are the experts when we're thinking about how to work with young people. Adults often don't think about what teens are thinking. So this is an opportunity for y'all to talk about what adults can do to help y'all better. So thank y'all for being here today.
Thank you, Michelle, and thank you guys for being here as well. Well, welcome to everyone at home for the Save Our Students Teen Town Hall. I'm Josh Hinkle, and this is Aaron Cargile, and we're with KXAN. Whether you're a parent, student, or an educator, we want to thank you for joining us online for what we know will be a very powerful and beneficial conversation about mental health.
Yeah, and as you just heard from Michelle, we are here at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Austin, their beautiful new facility. They have connected us with these talented young ladies here, and we want to thank them so much for teaming us up with them, as Michelle said, to actually hear from the experts, hear what you guys are going through on a daily basis, what's working, and where things could lend themselves to some improvement as well. Again, thank you guys so much for being here.
Now, a little background. This is part of a KXAN project called Save Our Students. We launched at the end of August. We've been traveling across the country and finding solutions in our own community that are improving the mental health of students here. And who better to gain knowledge than the teenagers themselves?
Yeah, we're going to introduce them in just a minute, but first we want to share some of the guidelines that we are going through following tonight as we tackle what can be sensitive topics. We want to be transparent and let you know kind of the ground rules that we've laid out as well. Number one, be respectful of yourself, of others, and the space. Share only what you feel comfortable sharing. Let others finish their thoughts. And if you disagree, focus on the idea, not the person. Try to not use names when talking about people, just use titles. Use your best judgment. So knowing that this information is public, we are on Facebook Live right now and also live streaming on KXAN.com. We may be talking about suicide tonight if that comes up or if you bring that up, so it's okay to share about that. But if you are thinking of hurting yourself or others, we will have to find you help if you express those thoughts. Let your voice be heard, so try your best to be honest and open with us and everyone watching. You will not be in trouble for being honest and sharing your opinion.
Now, there's also a counselor on hand if our conversation happens to trigger certain feelings. And it is our hope that those of you watching will also reach out for help if need be. We have linked our mental health resource page on saveourstudentstx.com.
Okay, so Josh and I, we've introduced ourselves, but you are the experts tonight. You're the important ones, so we want to go around and have you start. Just say your name and your grade.
My name is Jalasia, and I'm in the 11th grade.
My name is Christian Thomas, and I am in the 11th grade.
My name is Kemi Bass, and I'm in the 8th grade.
My name is Lucy Burdick, and I'm in the 8th grade.
My name is Tariah Epps, and I'm in the 9th grade.
My name is Tamaria Epps. I'm in the 10th grade.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And we've got students represented here from Del Valley High School and Bertha Sadler Means here in Austin, middle school all the way on up to high school. So we want to start out, and anyone, jump in or pass the mic or raise your hand if and when you have a thought that you want to share. But we want to start by asking you, what are some things that make life hard as a teenager, on a daily basis? What's tough for you to face?
I would say trying to fit in with your peers and having to hold a reputation for yourself. And yeah.
I think school. I say school because it's stressful. You got to keep your grades up. You got to worry about colleges looking at you and stuff. And I would also say the expectations. You're expected to be popular, pretty, this, that. It's a lot.
Expectations that peers put on you. Mm-hmm. Who else? What are the things that just you deal with on a daily basis that are hard, tough?
I'll also say, like, having to juggle everything at once. So, like, a lot of people, they have to go home and they have to take care of things with, like, family, and then having to do homework on top of that, and then sports and, like, yeah, maintaining a lifestyle.
Yeah, yeah. I hear you guys are pretty busy these days. There's a lot of activities on top of just the regular school.
For any of you, I mean, does anything related to mental health come to mind when you think about things that teenagers have to go through these days? What do you think, Cammie?
I mean, I don't really have, like, problems except, like, handling grades and then sports on top of that. So you have to have good grades to be in sports, so I feel like just grades for me. Not really anything mental.
Do you know if anyone at your school or any students or anything like that have had to deal with any mental health issues? Or one of the things we've been hearing a lot about as we've been working on this project is just a focus on preventing kids from committing suicide.
I know one person, she's my friend, and she goes through a lot, like, with her mom. Like, I would say, like, she can't really talk to her mom about the stuff that she does or, like, the stuff that she goes through. And, like, she got bullied, and she was harming herself. So, yeah, I do know somebody.
So you're saying she doesn't feel comfortable maybe going to her own parent about
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, because, like, it's like your parents want you to talk to them about stuff that you go through, but, like, when you tell them stuff, they react different. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Taraya, do you know anyone like that?
No.
No. All right. That's okay.
What would you say is, causes maybe you to feel anxious or you get nervous about, or, what's kind of the challenges for you?
School.
Yeah.
Honestly.
The academic part of it?
There's a lot to work. And you have to do chores and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Tamaria, what about you?
No.
You two know each other?
We're sisters.
Yeah.
What?
No. No.
No? Well, let me ask you a question, Tamaria. When life does feel hard, what helps it feel better for you?
Talking about it with my parents and siblings.
So it's easy to go to them. You guys have pretty open communication where you would feel comfortable telling them just about anything?
Yes.
That's good. That's good. Anyone else? Who do you turn to? Who do you feel comfortable talking to?
For me, it's not really, like, turning to anyone. Well, my cousin, it feels more comfortable with her. But I would say I turn to, like, sports. I run track, so that's what I go to. And music is my happy place.
Yeah.
I would say my cousin as well. We talk about all this stuff and music too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes you just need to cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lucy, what do you think? When life's tough for you, what do you do to help make it feel better?
Sometimes I think it's helpful to, like, talk to people. Like, I have a stepsister and my cousin. They're really good to talk to, and sometimes I draw to calm myself down.
Yeah.
What about you, Cammie?
I feel like I can talk to my dad because he's more loose about it instead of my mom. Like, I know that I can talk to her about things, but some things I just can't talk to her about because she's more strict and stern. So I feel like my dad is my go-to.
Taraya, how about you?
Wait, what was the question again?
When you're having a tough time with life, what's something that helps you feel better about it?
Honestly, I sing and draw. Laugh some steam.
Yeah.
And I just watch movies at the end.
That's so cool. That's so cool. We're hearing a lot of artistic
Yeah.
abilities from this group, so it seems like music and drawing and different things really are a good outlet for you.
Yeah. Are there any adults? So some of you mentioned peers, family members, cousins, sisters, you know, and some of you mentioned parents or a certain parent that you feel more comfortable with. Any more adults, say in a school setting, that you would be comfortable talking to? A certain teacher, a counselor on campus?
For me, I have a teacher that I could turn to if I really needed to talk. But, like, in my opinion, the counselors at our school, like, they're not really, like, helpful. And I feel like people don't make it a big deal as it should be, like, in school. So, yeah.
The teacher that you're thinking of, what does that person do that makes you feel comfortable to talk to them?
Well, he's more open about everything, and he tells the truth and not truth. He gives you, like, the help that you need. And, yeah, he's just very helpful. Yeah. And I say he's relatable. He's been through a lot of the things that we've been through and possibly still going through the things that we're going through.
So he shares his experiences and he's open and honest about that, not trying to look like he's somebody
Yeah.
that he's not.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think at the school, the counselors at the school, like, I think they're, well, when I first got to high school, I thought counselors were just to change your grades and stuff because they don't seem like they're there to, like, help you with your problems. But, like, an adult to turn to, I feel like I have one, like a couple, but, like, they don't really relate like she relates.
Yeah, I know what you're saying about the counselor. When I was in high school, our counselors did scheduling.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't someone that you would think of to go to share your thoughts and feelings and concerns with. Yeah. Anyone else, an adult, and kind of the reason why you feel comfortable talking to them? Lucy, you mentioned, I know, when we were talking to you before we started the live stream, you did mention a counselor. What is it about that person that makes you feel comfortable to go talk to them?
She's really easy to talk to, and she, like, understands what I'm talking about, and we have a lot of the same interests too. So, yeah, she's just a really fun person to be around, and it's nice to talk to someone.
Yeah, that's great.
For the people that, you know, maybe you do go to or you wish you could go to, what's something that they could do better to help you, you know, with your struggles?
I say something they could do better is, like, try to understand us instead of, like, blowing it off like they're like, oh, y'all are just kids. All y'all have to do is worry about school. Like y'all don't have to pay bills. Y'all don't have to take care of your family. But I don't know. I just feel like just be more understanding.
I would say I feel like they should make it a bigger deal. Even sometimes it may not even seem like kids our age are even going through anything, but I feel like it should always be like a question that should be asked. Like if we're okay, like how are we feeling, like what did you do today, like you know, and just be understanding, open-minded about the things that we go through. And even if it may not seem like a big deal to you, it may seem like a big deal to me.
So they should be the ones to be questioning more. Do you think that they're not asking enough? How are you doing? How are you feeling? Okay.
What about you, Tamaria? What do you think that the people that you could be going to help you with your problems could do better?
Be more understanding. Like, listen to, like, the full problem, because I feel like adults put their input in. Like, just listen to the full problem.
So don't kind of interrupt you or anything like that, yeah.
Or start giving their opinion or telling you what you should do, but hear you out.
Like trying to minimize the problem. Like my problem is like small. Like they make it seem like it's not that big of a deal.
Can you say that again?
I said like they minimize the problem. Like my problem is small. Like it's not that big of a deal. And like I'll say like, oh, I'm failing. I have a lot of stuff piling up, and then they'll just be like, well, it's just go after school, study in your room, do what you gotta do. But it's not that simple.
Yeah. It's like it's not that easy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Taraya, what about you? What's something that you think that people that could be in a position to help you with your struggles could be a little bit better at?
Sit down, like, focus on me and, like, help me in my work and stuff.
So it's kind of taking an active role in helping you deal with that problem instead of just listening.
And maybe showing that they care with the one-on-one attention.
And I think like parents should be more involved, and like anyone like older, like adults, peers, anyone, like just be involved in your child's life, and like, yeah, just be there for them, be involved, be there for their activities. Like it makes a big difference. Like show support.
Yeah, yeah. Cammie, what about you? What people that you don't go talk to for certain reasons, what would maybe change your mind, or the things that they could do better?
Well, I feel like counselors don't really know what to do in certain situations because they're not in your place. They don't know. They're just a counselor. But I feel like they could be more open about it, like have, not pep rallies, but like announcements to like let people know that it's happening and they need to find a way to stop it or find something that could like lower the problem down. But I don't know.
Yeah. Lucy, is there anything that you wanna add on? Okay, that's all right. Yeah, so this will be a little more interactive on this one. I want you to raise your hand if you've ever known someone who's, and then I'm going to fill in the blank, okay? So raise your hand if you've ever known someone who's been suicidal or who's shown signs or said that they... Okay, everyone but one. What about, raise your hand if you've ever known someone who has self-harmed. Raise your hand if you've ever known someone who's bullied someone or been bullied. Okay, so almost all of you on every single one of those. Are those all pretty, I don't want to say normal. I don't think that maybe showing suicidal signs or signs of that is normal, but self-harm, would you guys say that you know more than one person? Give us some insight on that.
I would say like at my school, it's like, I wouldn't say it's normal. Like it's not normal. It's nothing normal about it. But like when I see it, sometimes it's kind of like I'm numb to it because like you just walking in the hallway and you see somebody with cuts on their arm or their leg. It's like everybody. So yeah.
And I feel like at our age, people do normalize it. Like it's just like you're in high school, it's a lot of pressure. So like here's what you got to do. But I feel like people do normalize it and make it seem like it's just what everybody needs to do when it's not. It's really deeper than that. Yeah.
What about you, Cammie?
I've seen people do it for attention, and I don't really like the fact that they do that. They just do it for attention and then post it on social media. But the people who actually go through stuff, they don't really show that, and they'll show signs that they're not, feeling the best, and they might be hurting themselves, like wearing sweatshirts and stuff to cover them. But, yeah, they probably do normalize it to make it think that they have to do it, like when they're in middle school or high school.
How about you, Lucy?
Yeah, I'm with Cammie. I have seen people do it to get attention, and that's not okay at all. Because there are people out there who actually like do it because they're not okay, and that's really sad. Yeah.
Taraya, how about you? I know that you raised your hand when we were talking about knowing someone who has thought about suicide. Can you?
I actually have this friend, her name's Rosa, and she'll always cut herself, maybe for attention, I don't know. But I always feel so bad for her. Sometimes.
I seen people cut themselves for attention, and I don't think it's cute because like people who actually cut themselves, but like you never know like what's going on, and like when people see it, they're like, "Oh, you're doing it for attention." Like no, it's deeper than that. They don't know how to come up and like say it.
When you see something like that, you know, whether you believe it might be they're just trying to get attention, or if it is an actual problem, you know, do you know what to do? Like, do you know who to go to tell that this is something I've seen happening with this person?
Yes, the counselors, but like some people like don't feel like going to a counselor, so I let them talk to me and like just get their feelings out. So yeah.
I feel like suicide and like everything, like hurting yourself and all that, mental health issues, it's a hard topic to talk about with like kids our age and stuff like that, just because like it's like opening wounds. Like no one wants to actually talk about what they're going through. Like I think people think it's a way like to just make things worse, to just come out and talk about everything. So I think it's just hard to talk about, especially like opening up to someone and a counselor. Like you don't talk to a counselor every day, or some of us don't, but yeah.
Is it easier to talk to a stranger or someone like that you know pretty well?
I would say 50-50. You have like a lot of friends or anyone close to you, they might judge, you know, just because you're close doesn't mean like they're going to be fully open to what you have to say. And yeah.
I feel like you know the school teaches us and tells us like you could go to your principal, you can go to your counselor, but really it's not that easy. Like it's not that simple. You can't just go to your counselor. Like I don't know, it's not that simple.
And it's like when it's time to like actually go to your counselor or go to an adult for help, it's always like another person over them that they have to tell. So like it's not just between you and the counselor anymore. It's like the parents are involved, the school is involved. Like it opens up like a big,
It's like a chain reaction.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's what's needed. It can be important to make sure that the right people know in case someone is really hurting themselves or thinking about suicide. Cami, what do you think? Do you feel like you've been prepared in these situations when you have seen this happening to someone?
I feel a little shocked that they want to hurt themselves, but I feel like I need to tell someone, but at the same time I don't because it's not my business to tell, but it kind of is, but not really, but not to the counselors, but to someone that they might know or just them one-on-one to see what's going on.
You know, what stops you from telling someone or from getting that help?
I don't know, like I feel like that might be causing more problems for them at home instead of, you know, at school, because they don't really show it at school, but at home it's totally different. You don't know what's going on. So
you struggle a little bit with who to
Yeah.
tell and how that could impact.
I also feel like by telling someone, like, that could be kind of like betraying them. Like, if that's your friend, they might feel like they trusted you by telling you, so you shouldn't tell anybody else. So maybe, like, it's going to ruin the friendship, but then again, like, if they're gone, there won't be no friendship, so.
It might be hard to understand that right at the beginning, but
Yeah.
in the end, it might really make a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tamaria, what's something that you think might stop you from telling someone or from getting help?
I really don't know. I mean, like, I want to tell a counselor, but, like, you never know, like, what's going to happen. I feel like you should tell a counselor because, like, what happens if it's too late? But, like, if this person wants to go tell a counselor, they can because that's not my business. I should just, like, be open like that because word do get spreaded fast.
That's kind of a fear for a lot of people, is that more people will find out. Have you seen that happen?
Yeah, and then a messed up thing is, like, some people make fun of people who, like, harm themselves. And yeah, that's probably another reason why I wouldn't tell if somebody's doing it, or like another reason why anybody wouldn't want to tell or get help.
Christian, do you have something?
I feel like a lot of the time people don't want to have to like rely on others to help them with their problems. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, I just feel like people should.
Like, this is my problem, I should be able to fix it?
Yeah,
I
like,
don't want to ask for help.
yeah.
And sometimes you might feel like you're being a burden. Like, if you're talking to this person every day about your problems, you might feel like a burden to that person.
We've been talking about, suicide and self-harm and things like that. What about bullying? Does the same thing stand out in your mind? Is it difficult to tell people if you see someone being bullied?
No, if I see someone being bullied, then I'll speak up for the person. And like, if that doesn't change anything, then I guess I'll tell the teacher. But most of the time, it's like, if somebody's being bullied and they don't speak up for themselves, and you speak up for them, the bully, like, they calm down, like, you know?
Is that what you're taught? There's a lot of anti-bullying programs in school now, and so they are encouraging you to step in and speak up in those situations. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times bullying is normalized also because when you're in high school, when you get in high school or even middle school, like picking on each other and like making fun of each other, laughing at each other, like it's just a joke. But I think sometimes it does hit people like in a soft place, just because like you're making fun of someone, like that. It's not always fun and games.
Everyone experiences it differently.
Yeah, but I think people just think of it to be funny when they're bullying.
Cammie, do you know what to do if you see someone being bullied?
I feel like I would stand up for the person, but I feel like the person that might be like bullying them or joking with them might have problems themselves and then put it on someone else. But I would tell someone, or if I can't do it, stick up for that person, I'll tell someone like at that moment to see if I could do something.
How about you, Lucy?
Yeah, I feel like I would also, stand up for them, and I would tell a teacher or a counselor or someone, yeah.
You guys touched on this a little bit when we asked, who you would go to or who you wouldn't go to. But we've talked about counselors. We haven't talked yet about school police officers. We've done some stories on mental health in schools, and we talked to some of the school police officers who are also trained in building relationships with students on campuses and to try to support them. Do you think counselors and or school police officers are helpful people? We've talked a little bit about counselors. So what about school police officers? Your SRO on your campus, do you know that person on a personal level? Do you see them helping students, or do you see them more in that kind of police officer role?
Well, the officer at my school is really helpful. Like, she's kind of like a counselor, like a mom to us, kind of. And she's really helpful. Like, she'll give you the things you need. She told us one time that she got someone groceries, like they were really struggling one time. And I thought that was like really, I don't know the word, but like a good scenario, because they were struggling. But she's really helpful, and I feel like she would help in a certain situation if that were to happen.
Yeah.
What about you, Christian? What do you think of the police officers on your campus?
I would say our police officers on our campus, like, they're pretty cool. They help out, but I think they just really stand by and just watch for, like, fights and, like, if anyone has any, like, illegal things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that's because they're busier with that kind of stuff and they don't have time for maybe checking in on what's stressing you out or what help you need?
Yeah, I think that's what they're mainly focused on, making sure just everything is just running smoothly, make sure no one really gets like harmed, not just there to help with mental health and things like that. But I would say like we have APs and APs that we're assigned to, and have an AP that I have in mind, and she's
An assistant principal.
yeah, she's yeah, she's very helpful, and I would go to her like if I really needed anything.
So at your campus, you're saying certain students are designated to certain assistant principals.
Yeah.
So they are your point person, and they have certain groups of students. And okay, so that's another connection that you
Yeah.
have. Interesting.
I feel like the police officers at our school, like they make they have relationships with the students, but like it's like certain students. I'm not gonna say certain students, but students who want a relationship with them. Like me personally, I wouldn't. I don't know, but yeah, they're there, but not really all the way.
It's like different having a police officer as opposed to maybe like the assistant
Yeah.
principal or.
Like when I think about the police officers, I don't think to go to them for help with anything. Like I just don't.
It doesn't sound like there's someone that you're
Yeah.
not afraid of, but they're still building
Afraid
good
of.
relationships with students. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Lucy?
I don't really know the police officer at our school very well, but I have heard that she's, really good to go to if there's any sort of problem, and that she's really helpful with all that.
We've been talking about being able to go to different people for help and everything. Do you think if you went to your school's police officer and said, I know this person is thinking about harming themselves or committing suicide or is getting bullied, would that police officer be able to help from what you think?
Yeah, I think they will be able to help because, I don't know. Because we've had, something like assemblies with the police officers, and they, talk to us, and, we kind of got to know the police officers a little bit, but, I feel like they would help.
Tamaria, what do you think? No? Why not?
I don't know. I don't really know them police officers like that.
One of the things we were talking about earlier is, what adults can do better, and also who you would, go talk to. Do any of you have examples, without, mentioning specific names, of a situation where you had a friend who opened up to you about something, and then you did decide to go tell somebody, and the outcome was really good? An example of some decisions that you made to help somebody, and it worked out well in the end.
No.
Or even with yourself, if you opened up to somebody, a friend, an adult, and the outcome versus if you didn't tell anybody, how that helped in that situation.
Not really. Well, I'm like a counselor to all of my friends. So, they open up to me, but I don't really express it to older, adults and stuff, because I feel like when we're done talking, it's they're okay. Well, that's what it might seem like, but I don't know.
Christian, you were saying something earlier about adults, not asking how you feel, and it's really hard, even among you guys, to bring up mental health and to talk about real things and real feelings. How do you think we change that? How do you get your own peers talking more about feelings and real stuff that you're going through?
I would say just try to build a relationship with the adult first or your peers first. Just try to get to know them, let them get to know you, and as you get comfortable, just slowly. And I would say for adults to just try to be more involved. I'm in sociology, so my teacher she gives us little fist bumps at the door and gives us smiles or hugs and stuff before we come in the classroom. So I would say just be kind of open with your students or with your kids, and yeah, just don't be be a friend, but maintain the position you're in, a parent or a teacher, but just be involved.
Yeah, that's interesting. One of the stories we did talked about how a lot of people hug, and you know, they're more physical with younger kids, and they think that when you get older that you don't need any of that. But you just said you love hugs.
I also feel like a lot of people don't open up about like what they're going through because people make fun of it, or like it might not be cool or whatever. Like you might get looked at like weak, like, oh, you're weak because you're going through it. But I feel like people, like, I don't know, I feel like people should just stop being so judgmental. Yeah.
One of the things we've also been talking to people about is, you know, you might be going to an adult for help, but sometimes those adults, like, they need to help themselves first, right? Can you speak about that? I mean, do you see clearly adults, you know, we're stressed too and everything like that?
Yeah, I say, I don't know. You know, I don't know, like they could probably talk to like their significant other, or or like they could get a counselor, or maybe like, I don't know.
Yeah. What do you guys do for self-care, for your own mental health? I mean, besides talking, you know, to your friends and opening up, do you do anything to, you mentioned hobbies and outlets and that kind of thing, but do you understand self-care and you know, what that means to take care of your own self?
I say sometimes getting out the house is really all you need, because like when you're sitting in the house, like you have a lot of time to just think, and you just think yourself into a hole. So I say getting out the house, like getting off your phone sometimes.
I would say, like, surround yourself with positivity. Even if, like, you don't have any friends or any family members, like, surround yourself with things that you love to do or things that you like to do. Maybe you don't always have to talk to people. Maybe you can just, you know, do things that you like to do. And yeah.
Cammie, what do you do? Self-care.
I feel like having a me day for yourself, like just taking everything and letting it go, you know, read a book or do something that you like instead of worrying about other things. Just have like a day to yourself of like no stress, no worries.
I like that. No schoolwork.
What about you, Tamaria?
I sleep. Like, I can't be stressed if I'm asleep.
Jariah, what do you do to kind of...
Mostly, I go ride my hoverboard or just go walking to take off some steam.
Yeah.
Lucy?
Sometimes I'll read or, sleep. Sometimes I write about, like, what I'm feeling or just what's been happening, and that's really helpful.
Yeah. That's great. Are we? Okay. Thank you all. You take a deep breath. You guys, we're wrapping up here. You guys did great. Thank you so much for your participation. I've learned a lot. I know folks watching on the live stream have learned a lot. We really appreciate you guys being so open and honest, because we know it's not easy even for ourselves to do that. And we also want to thank the Boys and Girls Clubs of Austin for connecting us with you, for hosting this event and letting us use their beautiful facility here.
And KXAN's Save Our Students project is ongoing, and we want to hear what solutions to mental health and school safety are working where you live, and ideas you've seen that Central Texas schools might want to consider. So email us your thoughts at reportit@kxan.com.
Yeah, and if this is the first time you've ever heard of Save Our Students, we've got an entire website devoted to this project. We've got all of our stories on there. It is saveourstudentstx.com.
All right, thank you again for joining us. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.